Hello everyone and welcome back to MDG Media's coverage of the 2025 Sieravuori Challenge. We have round 2, front 9, MPO lead card coverage for you from near Eura, Finland. It's like a holiday resort camp. Really great course, nice facilities here. Having a lot of fun. I'm Andrew Gum and I have with me Elias Luukkonen in the booth. How are you doing?
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Andrew. And happy to be here for the round 2. We're going to have an interesting card. Maybe actually exactly something you would expect from this event, as it's an event more close to where a lot of great players in Finland live. So you might actually see faces that you normally don't see in the very international events. And first player Kasper Kivimäki, exactly a great example of that. A solid player, but doesn't really tour that much. So this is, I believe, the first time for him on MDG.
Yeah, incredible 12 down performance on opening day. We have a more familiar face in Joona Heinänen, Innova sponsored player who's been on many lead cards and had lots of great success in his long career in disc golf, but still right at the top of his game.
And Rasmus Saukkoriipi, another familiar face. He's also sponsored by this place, Sieravuori, so very much a familiar course for him as well.
Yeah, great to see the Innova Sieravuori players playing well. We have also another new face, Konsta Elonen. He was at 9 down as well on the opening day, and from very nearby in Eurajoki, 976 rated player who really popped off on that first round. Pretty surprising. Even some of the local guys were surprised that they hadn't heard of him, even from being nearby. So pretty exciting storyline there. We'll see how he can handle the pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Mostly a course where you maybe don't need to do the most high-level shots, but you just need to do them very consistently. And hole 1 is a great example of that. It's playing as a really difficult par 4, but a lot of players actually just playing for the par and not really going for the 3. In order to get the par, you have to throw something pretty far off the tee and then 2 short approach shots. Whereas if you go for the birdie, it's extremely risky with the OB getting closer and closer as you get to the basket. And a really long second shot as well.
From awesome round yesterday, totally score 47. From Finland, Kasper Kivimäki.
.47 strokes, not a lot to complete an ATL level course.
It's pretty impressive.
That's going to be a good drive. It's not super far, but in the middle.
From Finland, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs, Joona Heinänen.
So Kasper's round came in at 1086 rated on the opening day. Really crushed it. 3-stroke lead. See if Joona can make some progress in that regard, and he makes a lot of progress on this shot, smashing it way down there.
Score 50. From Finland, sponsored by Innova Champion Disc and Kiekko Kingi, Rasmus Saukkoriipi.
Certified crusher on the tee here, so.
Yeah, pretty smooth player still. Doesn't really go for that full power shot all that often. And even here you can see a pretty casual stroke. That's a good result, getting off the right side, kind of pushing that right side OB.
And next on the tee, also totally score 50. From Finland, Konsta Elonen.
Hanging it wide, letting it hyzer back in. Safe and sound. That's all you really need.
Yeah, gonna be very interesting to see how Konsta specifically plays, as his rating is significantly lower than everybody else on the card. So he played more above his average level than the rest of the card in round number 1. As finishing to the right, that's gonna be OB, unfortunately. Pretty easy to do actually if you go a little longer on the second. If you want to play it super safe, you really want to end up 50, even 60 meters short of the basket. But Rasmus looking like he could go for it here with a nice little fairway driver shot.
Super smooth, skipping it down there. near the circle. There was only 3 birdies yesterday. He was one of them. Coming into this lead card today, there's only 2. See if anybody else on the card can pick it up.
That's OB left as well. You know, I like to play from Saukkoriipi to go for the basket as he can reach it with a fairway driver. But if you have to start throwing a distance driver to reach it on the second shot, I think it's not really worth it to go for it. And Joona even going mid-range here. Nice soft landing. Not going to contend with that OB left.
Yeah, it's a total bonus birdie. Hardest hole on the course at 4.92 for the day. It was over 5 yesterday.
Yeah, such a windy spot on the green as well. You have the huge lake just 15 meters behind the basket. And it's always a headwind here. I have not seen a time where it would be blowing the other way.
Pretty good looking stroke there from Joona, giving it a soft bid. Comes down next to the basket.
Wow, oh my God.
What a nice putt that was.
His putting stroke is so nice for that headwind though. That little slide nose up, a lot of spin. You know, not putting too hard, but also not too soft. Just glides it above the rim.
Yeah, it looked too easy. So 3 birdies on the day here again on this hole. Saukkoriipi 2 days in a row.
That's getting strokes on the field.
Yeah, the others were Maiko Rimmel and Mattias Kaniainen.
All right. Estonian and a Finn.
Moving on, hole 2, par 3, 80 meters, 262 feet. You got to hit this gap here and move a little bit right to left. You got to be careful about the sloping hillside right to left because it's mostly a chunk of granite rock that'll skip you pretty long to the left where it drops off a fair bit. Not a whole lot of danger necessarily, but it'll give you, you know, a little bit too much work on the green if you skip into C2 from there and uphill. Definitely a birdie you'd like to get. Pretty short hole.
Yeah, it's actually quite a funny start to this course where the hole 1 is so difficult and this hole 2 is so easy. I mean, you're kicking yourself if you don't pick up this birdie. And that's what Rasmus is going to be doing. The gap is pretty wide. You really don't expect to miss the gap of the tee. It's more about the angle control at the end and managing the skips and the fade rather than hitting the first gap.
Yeah, just a little touch highs there. You want it to come down nice and soft. That's tapering off a fair bit, but he should be in the circle.
Yeah, I feel like the left side actually catches the discs pretty nice as you have that a lot of moss on the ground on the left side. And another miss off the gap. Really surprising by the lead card.
Kasper, you feeling some nerves probably? First time on camera coverage. As you said, he's a good player, over 1,000 rated, but mostly playing these local events, so not getting a lot of media attention. Konsta, nice touch on that one. Gets to about 6 meters.
Yeah, I love the angle. Just kept the slight hyzer all the way. Not too high. There's a bit of a headwind here as well as we're once again going towards the lake. It's nowhere near as strong as on the approach of hole 1 as the boulder is kind of protecting the green here. That's pretty bad. What happened?
Well, Saukkoriipi plays really quickly, so some of the shots might be missed if he's doing quick on the approaches. So that's his par putt, I believe.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean the camera work. I meant that
The shot.
Yeah, he went from 40 meters and left it 12 short.
Yeah, not ideal for sure.
Joona missing his birdie. Pretty tense feeling on the card so far, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely some low energy there, tense feeling. Probably some nerves and some pretty big expectations for Rasmus and Joona, right? You know, title sponsor, being connected to the Sieravuori project. So of course they want to perform well. A little bit struggle there. You don't see bogey on this one too often. That's quite a surprise.
No, I mean usually it has to be a 3-putt if you get that bogey. But I guess that can happen. Hole number 3, 113 meters. It's a pretty basic shot, but what makes it somewhat difficult is that if you hit an early tree, you can easily kick to the OB left. It's pretty close. With a regular air shot, the OB left isn't really found if you hit the gap. You want to throw something straight with a good overstable finish. Ideally, an overstable mid-range if you throw very hard, or if you're, let's say, a normal professional or a competitive player, probably want to throw an overstable fairway driver.
Yeah, the OB is pretty tight there on the left side. You more often see him leave it further right and then have a longer putt. Basket's a bit elevated, so can be a little scary if you're too far with that OB lurking. That's pretty early inside. Seems to have stayed safe at least. No damage.
Yeah, super nice kick there. I think he was definitely going towards the OB left. Joona here. I love the angle out of the hand.
Yeah, nice overstable disc. Plenty of speed. Checking up safe there. Inside the circle. And there you just see how close that OB line can be on the left side. Even some of the shots that look really good can get a little squirrely at the end.
And this is in danger. Getting a huge break through the trees. That was in big danger of even kicking OB to the left. That's a good 2-stroke difference there, being 7 meters away. Nice break, and good to see after a not an ideal start being over par at this point.
Yeah, it's nice to get some course love if you're struggling there in the start. See if you can capitalize on it. Quite perfect shot from Rasmus. Made it look easy. Come down soft with a slower disc.
Yeah, mid-range there. It's, it's interesting to see his choice of power on a lot of these shots, because he has all of the capacity to throw a slow disc on almost any hole. But if he chooses to or not, it's very interesting to see what's the strategic decision on each hole.
Yeah, he's got plenty of experience on this course, being from the nearby area. I've been told he's got a little brother who can shred as well. Keep your eyes out for another future star.
Yeah. Maybe they could challenge the Lampala family name as the best family name in disc golf in Finland so far. We have 3 really good, I believe 3 over 1,000 red Lampala named players in Finland, all from the same family, so maybe Saukkoriipi family could challenge that at some point. Meanwhile, a couple of really nice birdies on the card.
Calvin, looking good today. Calvin Heimberg.
Excuse me, sorry. Hey, oh, sorry. Excuse me. Hello. Hey, thank you. A Nakwa. I'm looking for a Nakwa. Do you have one?
Hey, Germ, you can't cut in line.
My apologies. You may have noticed I just cut you in line. I'm just looking for a Nakwa.
A Nakwa? Here, use mine.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, moving on. Hole 4, par 3, 114 meters downhill over this lake. A little pond that you see. A few guardian trees to beat before you break from right to left onto the beach. Shorter layout this year, making it quite a bit easier playing under par. Just I guess like a little touch hyzer for the righty backhand player. And the sand will usually absorb most of the impact on the ground, so you can't really count on too much ground play. You just want to land it pretty close and take your birdie and move forward.
Yeah, really simple shot. You want to just challenge that middle tree, and if you look like you're almost going to hit it, it's usually a sign of a good shot. Joona going around the backside and just perfect there. You mentioned the skips. I think he hit it a little bit earlier on the ground where the sand is slightly more packed or has some patches of grass still, so was able to get that skip.
Yeah, played that well. There you see a more typical result. But a little bit short. Kind of stalled a bit and crashed in early. Still an opportunity for birdie. Can be a windy spot for putting, though, down here by the lake.
Rasmus long, but gonna be a tailwind putt. I don't think he was trying to go long, but definitely you would like to be 5 meters long rather than 5 meters short here, with the wind once again coming off the lake. And Konsta inbounds, or his OB looked really close.
Yeah, and you saw that flag whipping there. Now it's not so much, but gusty breeze here on the beach. Catches some nubs.
Maybe his drive was safe and this went OB? I'm confused. What's going on?
Some missed putts for sure.
Solid stroke there, yeah. Pretty shocking to see that from Konsta. Multiple big misses. And you can see with the hard putting stroke, wind getting under the disc. Now this is a tester.
So double bogey there. We saw a few putts after the OB. Unfortunate result here on one of the easier holes. Rasmus making it look easy, getting his birdie.
You can see the waves coming off from the lake. The wind has been consistently pushing from that direction for a couple days in a row now. The water reacting accordingly. As moving on to a scary hole. A hole that at least can be very scary depending what your game plan on this one is. It's only 98 meters, so really short. But the OB on the right side is quite a bit off the edge of the water. So if you go for the big hyzer as the drone is flying, which is probably the riskiest route, but also probably the easiest way to park the hole. If you hit any of these trees at the very end and bounce to the right, you're going to be OB and pretty much re-teeing. And the other option is going to be a straight to right finishing shot, probably a forehand, which even Joona, being a big backhand player, going for the forehand here.
He played it really well yesterday. We saw him on feature card coverage. And again, super smooth. This one even better. That's parked.
That is some good stuff. I mean, he's not known for his forehand, but I feel like every year his forehand just gets a few meters longer and a bit more accurate.
Putting in the work. Paying off here. Saukkoriipi's forehand is one of the best in the business. As far as distance and shot shaping, I would say.
And Konsta also with a nice looking release needs to get up though. Pretty lucky break to get between the leftmost and the second leftmost tree there.
Yeah, sneaky one. Kasper gives it a healthy bid. Had the height. Just faded out a bit with that crosswind. Rasmus laying up. Gonna take his first par.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough putt. And there's OB about 7 meters behind the basket. So if you airball this, you're not gonna be happy. Konsta, good bounce back. Kind of an up and down stretch. Starting off with a bogey, then birdie, par, double, and another birdie here. I mean, it's better to have it that way. At least you have some momentum with the birdies.
Yeah, and it's quite to be expected, I would say. He really shot out of his mind that first round. Got himself on the lead card. Huge learning experience here. Great opportunity to play with some of the best players in Finland and get that experience on camera coverage. So getting birdies is a good feeling when everyone's watching, right? Moving on, hole 6, par 3, 120 meters, nearly 400 feet. Back over that pond that we had on 2 holes ago. And yeah, you wanted, I guess for the righty backhand player, most of them are coming this direction that the drone is flying. There's quite a lot of guardian trees to beat at the very end of it, protecting the green well, and OB behind. There's also a lot of space on the left side over the pond for, you know, a forehand or lefty backhand or some kind of a turnover shot if you feel like it. So plenty of options here, but this is kind of the main play for the pros.
Inside.
Sneaky
That's
inside line. Okay.
Yeah, I like the play. He made a very conscious decision, it looked like, to go inside of the last trees. Now this forehand route. This one I haven't seen live. I think I've only seen it on video. It takes a lot of power.
Yep. Oh, he's got it though. Look at that.
That is big. Oh, good pop on that forehand.
Wow.
Man, I mean, that's
Flexing.
120, slightly uphill even.
That's very impressive forehand. Nice to see Konsta showing off his skills. And Kasper, he does great with a little bit higher line than Joona. Also on the inside, though, and getting himself up there for a look. So
Saukkoriipi definitely has all the power to go with the forehand. Decides to go with a softer thrown flex backhand. Looked a little almost too soft out of the hand, where he was trying to really touch it and got that early release.
definitely a little soft and sawed off and a little bit inside. He's caught up. There we see the boss cruising along. It's great to have him on our coverage yesterday. Shot a much better round today. Clocked in a 5 down, so out there hanging with the lead card. As we see Saukkoriipi just pitch up.
Now you can see a very well protected green. Not much wind here, even though it's still pretty close to the shore. For some reason this green doesn't really get blown that much by the wind coming off the lake.
Pretty well guarded. Some thick trees. Pretty deep in the woods here. Not too far from, well, pretty far from most cities and towns. It's a good feeling. It's kind of like a little holiday camp resort. Very peaceful.
Yeah. And possibly the fact that makes it even more peaceful is that since we are so remote, your internet on your phone often doesn't really work. That's also the reason, part of the reason why we're publishing the videos a little bit later, is that the internet is kind of weak, as don't really have that many cell towers nearby.
Joona's on a run now, 4 down.
Hey guys, quick break. We just dropped our brand new 2025 MDG Media Tour clothing collection, which is now available on our online shop. You will find fresh apparel and a full lineup of discs. If you like what we do, if you want to support the project, this is the best way. See you on the website and enjoy the video.
See out there, Teemu Talikainen, former Finnish champ, shredding it up, already in double digits. And Bjorn Merendi from Estonia, 12 down. So that sauna stove competition is heating up.
Yep, sauna stove for the hot round of the tournament. Already 2 people shooting 12 under. And a lot of people in the mix still, as moving on, hole number 7. Short hole, though playing a little bit longer. 90 meters, playing closer to 100, 105 maybe with the uphill grade. It's a pretty manageable gap. You have to throw something straight. You can finish a little bit left if you want. Really not that accurate on the shape of the shot, rather just hit the gap and move forward.
A little inside here, but it's up there for a putt. Didn't hit any of the trees, so inside the circle.
Very nice. I'd say this is a pretty forgiving hole. A lot of the times you can saw it off early and still get through, just like this.
Yeah.
See 2 there.
Yeah, it's a little thicker on the right side. The trees on the left are a little more sporadic. Not a lot of ground play, as we mentioned yesterday. You see those lingonberry bushes and blueberry bushes grabbing everything up.
And just as we mentioned, like on the last hole with his electric scooter, we see him scooting past our commentary studio. Whoa! Ace run from Saukkoriipi.
Scooting past the basket.
There you go, mid-range. A lot of power to reach it over the basket with mid-range there.
little bit of rain. Rain and a birdie down there. For Konsta back on track. Bounced back from that double solid with a couple birdies. Joona looking to get 5 in a row right here.
Let's see. There he goes.
Got it.
Dead center. His putting stroke is looking really nice right now, especially inside the circle. We saw on hole number 1. Actually, hole number 2, he missed that maybe 9-meter putt, but besides that, looking very solid on the green.
Yep. Rasmus making moves as well. He's got his 4th birdie of the round. Just that one little slip up on the green, 2. Well, with the approach and missed putt. And we see Kasper connect to keep himself in the lead for the tournament, 15 down. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, well done, and a good star frame there by the card. It's not to be expected to have a star frame, but it's to be expected to have a lot of birdies in that hole and these coming holes. Hole 8 also a very, very manageable birdie, just 226 meters, so not the shortest of par 4s, but off the tee it's fully open, so you can throw a flat to hyzer shot, even a little flex, even a bigger hyzer, or whatever your preferred shape is. Just get as much distance as you can while staying on the pretty wide fairway, and then from a good drive you're going to have somewhere between 110 to 70 meters depending how far you throw, and it's just the basic hyzer on the second. Couple of guardians to miss, but this is a hole where I would expect all of these guys at least to be putting for a birdie.
Yeah, totally flat here. You can just kind of rip it out. The OB, you know, pretty generous, I would say. Although you do see people find it. 31 OBs today from the field. I guess it's like you can really push the distance on this tee shot if you like, but you do sometimes see people, you know, maybe fade a little early or overturn it. So just want to keep it in bounds, but if you can get, like, say, 120, 130, that makes the approach that much easier, or even more. You see that 150 sign? We saw Tuomas clear way past it yesterday.
That's a pretty big mistake. Damn, unfortunate, yeah. Really don't want to miss the fair one the first. It doesn't even matter if you're, you know, much shorter. And even Saukkoriipi here going for a pure hyzer, a lot of distance, not to downplay the power of the shot, but he wasn't going for nearly the amount of distance that he could if he went with a glidey disc.
Yeah, I guess he rarely unleashes his full potential and power, you know, being one of the furthest throwers on the continent, perhaps in the world.
Yeah, world distance champion after all, from this year. Konsta, good approach there. I'd say it's pretty hard to be parked here from this far out with the guardian trees. There you go, good approach, 2 times in a row.
Dropping it on a dime. The big hyzer. Smooth swing as always from Joona. And it's coming in gently right next to the bucket. Super well done. Just dissecting the hole.
Yeah, making it look super easy, which it can be, but I mean, I feel like this is the kind of shot that if you're a high-level player like these guys, you know, playing well in this tournament, have the confidence, you're always going to put a 100-meter hyzer, a 90-meter hyzer to the circle. It's not like, it's not a shot that you can mess up real bad. Even the shot that Saukkoriipi had is probably the worst shot that he's going to throw if he's going to throw 10 discs. And still putting here and making the birdie even.
Nice. His putt's looking good. He's got a couple bangers.
Yeah, that's something that he used to struggle with for a bit. I remember, you know, a couple of bigger tournaments, even in this specific tournament, a couple years back, he was in contention for the win and then kind of blew it on one of the holes, getting multiple putts on an elevated green. And it's nice to see him getting that together.
Seems comfortable. I guess still looking for that really big win. You know, he's been in contention quite often. Yeah, moving on to hole 9, par 3, 97 meters, straight through the woods. Really nice little gap, tunnel shot. Slightly higher here at the very end as it goes up onto a bit of a shelf. But yeah, just, throw it straight, right down the pipe. What you see is what you get here. Really not too much, just try to get your birdie through the deep woods. Very fair line down the middle. There's one little kind of overhanging branch that you see clip a few of the shots that look good. Joona gets under it and right up to the basket. That's perfect.
Lovely angle, just keeping a slight hyzer all the way with that straight disc. Konsta, forehand play, pretty uncommon I feel like on this hole. Haven't really seen many forehands. He keeps it down the middle, but the height was not perfectly correct. It's such a fair hole. I really like the design here. As Andrew said, what you see is what you get, and the same thing goes with the shots. It's not like you can throw a bad shot and get a good reward, or throw a good shot and get a bad reward.
Yeah, very fair. Takes a very pure line down the middle with the correct height. Solid up shot there. This is one of them that, like, although it looks fairly straightforward, it can be pretty tricky if you really miss that gap early. Scrambling can be tough. Ooh, long look there. Catches chains. Great effort. I like what we're seeing from these young Finns. I mean, look at Konsta. He's got 4 birdies in a row. Kasper, he's on point,
Yeah.
Still right there in the lead, tied for the lead.
That's gonna be for long though, as Joona puts in another birdie. 7 birdies in a row on the front.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, going 7 under on the front, considering that hole 1 is not an impossible birdie, but very much a bonus. I guess 8 under would be pretty much the perfect score for most players.
Yeah, the Joona birdie train is rolling. 7 in a row. Excellent performance there. Saukkoriipi 4 down. Not too shabby. Everybody, putting in quite a lot of green on that scorecard here on the front 9. So pretty exciting action. And what we see out there, Teemu Heinänen got his 10 down. Eetu Tuominen at 14 down. So yeah, some pretty hot scores out there and some pretty tight competition for that Kiwas.
Yep, Kiwas, and also some USDGC spots. 2 USDGC spots going for the 2 best players in this tournament who don't yet have the spots. So a lot to play for here. And we're gonna see these guys. They're all in position to stay in the lead card if they can pick it up just slightly for the back 9. So looking forward to that on the back. Thank you, Andrew, for doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're halfway through this Disc Golf Pro Tour Q Series event in Sieravuori. See you on the back 9.